All right, thanks, guys. Happy Saturday morning to you. Hopefully, you had a good start to your weekend. Not too hungover here this morning. But anyway, today is Small Business Saturday, so please make sure you go out and support your local small businesses. I tried to do my part today and support my local hardware store and buy a new rake, but they were closed for Thanksgiving weekend. Go figure. I guess classic small business. Shut down the entire store for personal matters. But anyway, guys, we got ourselves some college basketball action here today for Saturday. Couple really interesting games. So let's go ahead and dive into it. We're going to begin with Rhode Island squaring off against USF, and that's going to be a 5:30 p.m. Eastern tip-off. Now, the South Florida Battling Bulls are the 1.5-point favorite with a total at 139. Now, we are 3-0 in our last three daily best plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. And access to the daily best play costs just $1.99. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about right now, I'm going to explain a little bit more about it in just a few moments. We also won our last three straight extra daily picks on that site as well. And access to the extra daily pick costs just $2.99. Now, we currently have over 775 members signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, when it comes to this Rhode Island USF contest here, we are seeing some early money coming in on Rhode Island and the under. It was actually a 0.5-point move toward Rhody and a 0.5-point move downward on the total. So once again, USF opened 1.5 down to -1. Total open 139.5 down to 139 even. Now, Rhode Island lost their opening two contests in the 2020 season. They went 0-2 against the number in those games. Having said that, though, the Rhode Island Rams, they played two pretty tough teams in Boston College and Arizona State. Both of those schools playing very tough against Villanova in the early going here. Now, senior guard Fats Russell is scoring 18 points per contest, along with 4 boards and 5 assists. Russell's also getting 3 steals a game defensively, so he's all over the court, really getting the job done on both ends of the hardwood. Now, Jeremy Shepard's also getting 15 a game for the Rams, 3 rebounds and a couple assists for the senior guard. Shepard's currently shooting over 61% from the field. Meanwhile, forward Antoine Walker is averaging 12 points per contest, along with 7 rebounds and 3 assists. Now, Rhody scored 88 points in their opener against Arizona State, and they held the Boston College Eagles to just 69 total points in their most recent outing. So although the record doesn't reflect it, these guys are playing pretty good basketball in many different facets. I do like the Rams to get in the win column here today. I'm going to lean toward the Rhode Island Rams +1 and the under 139 in that game. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for college basketball here on a Saturday. And once again, hopefully you guys are having a great start to your weekend. Hopefully you're not too hungover. If you are, go ahead and crush some of those Thanksgiving leftovers. That'll make you feel real good. But anyway, before we dive into some more free content, guys, we're 3-0 in our last 3 daily best plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. And if you want access to our daily best play, it's only going to cost you just $1.99. We also went 3-0 in our last 3 extra daily picks on that site as well. And access to the extra daily pick costs just $2.99. Now, you might be wondering, why would you sign up for picks on Patreon, where you can get them for free right here on YouTube? And that's certainly a great thought, a great consideration. But I'll tell you this much, if you were to go out there and bet every single game that's on the board, side and total, like I do here with my breakdowns on YouTube, it's certainly not a winning formula for success. You just don't want to go out there throwing darts, betting every single game on the board, side and total. And as a matter of fact, if you end up doing that, it's a recipe for disaster. The books are way too smart. They're way too sharp with the numbers. The odds become massively more against you the more and more games you play like that. And to be honest with you, The bookies have just so much more money than you and I do combined to be able to absorb that type of action. You're certainly no threat betting every single game on the board to them. So what I do on Patreon is I break it down and focus in on just 3 to 4 premium selections per day, sometimes more, sometimes a little less. They're my personal plays, games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, guys, I'm having a lot more success betting on games that way versus wagering on every single game on the slate side in total. Now, guys, we currently have over 775 members signed up and active on that site. There's a lot of people that are on my Patreon site. I appreciate each and every one of them, but it's not just some small rinky-dink site. This is a big operation. We got a lot of people signed up, and if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And moving on, guys, we're going to take a look at Loyola Marymount squaring off against the Minnesota Golden Gophers, 6 p.m. Eastern tip-off. Minnesota's the 14-point favorite. Total's 144.5. Now, we are seeing early action on Loyola and the under in this one. It was actually a 0.5 point fade of Minnesota and a 1.5 point move toward the under. So, once again, the Gophers opened 14.5 down to 14. Total open 146 down to 144 and a hook. Now, the Golden Gophers are the $16 favorite on the money line, so if you like them straight up, might want to include that in a multi-leg parlay. But anyway, Minnesota put up 99 big points in their opener against Green Bay, Wisconsin. They took care of Green Bay by 30 points in that one, easily covering the 19-point spread in that game. Marcus Carr scored 35 in that ball game, 7 rebounds and 5 assists for the junior. Marcus shot 55% from the field, and he hit 4 shots from beyond the arc in that game. Junior guard Gabe Kalster also scored 17 points in the opener himself, couple of steals and a block for Gabe. And junior guard both Gotch scored 14 along with 5 boards and 4 assists. Gotch was 6 for 6 from the stripe in that game. Now, Minnesota's taking on a Loyola squad who failed to cover the number in their opener themselves. They gave up 83 points to Southern Utah in that ball game. Now, that contest also got 24 points above the posted total. Meanwhile, the Golden Gophers, on the other side of things, they saw their last ball game get 25 points above the posted total for that contest themselves. So with all that said and done, pretty chalky lean here. I'm going to lean toward the Minnesota Golden Gophers minus 14 in the over 144.5 in that game. All right, next matchup I have for you, it is going to be North Texas squaring off against Arkansas, and that's going to be a 6 p.m. Eastern start time in that matchup. The Razorbacks are minus 8 with the total at 144.5. Now we're seeing early action on the North Texas Mean Green, as well as heavy movement toward the under in this one. We saw a 0.5 point move toward North Texas and a 3.5 point move downward on the total. So once again, Arkansas opened 8.5 down to 8. Total open 148 down to 144 and a hook. The Razorbacks are the $4 favorite on the money line. Now, Arkansas put up 142 points on Mississippi Valley State in their season opener. They easily covered the 38-point spread in that contest by beating their opponents by a staggering 80 points. Forward Connor Vanover scored 23 points and had 8 rebounds. Connor was also 80% from beyond the arc, and he had 3 blocks. Junior guard Desi Sills, also had 19 points himself in the opener. Couple of boards, couple assists for the junior. Desi was actually 8 of 10 from the field and had 3 steals defensively. Meanwhile, Moses Moody had 16 points in the game himself, 3 boards, couple assists for Moody. The freshman guard actually went 9 of 10 from the stripe, and he had 3 steals defensively himself. So these guys certainly showing some strong defensive effort in the opener, even though Mississippi Valley State probably couldn't beat Bloomsburg at this point. But anyway, oddly enough, North Texas faced Mississippi Valley State in their season opener themselves. Now, that flew about 23 points above the posted number. Meanwhile, Arkansas saw their last ball game get about 43 points above the posted total for that contest themselves. Kind of another chalky lean here. Give me the Arkansas Razorbacks minus 8 and the over 144.5 in that matchup. All right, next game, it is going to be Notre Dame, Michigan State, 8 p.m. Eastern tip-off. The Spartans of Michigan State, they are the 11-point favorite, total 145. We're seeing early movement toward the Spartans and the under in this one. We saw a half a point move toward Sparty and a 2.5-point move downward on the number. So once again, Michigan State opened 10.5 up to 11. Total open 147.5 down to 145. The Spartans failed to cover the point spread in their season opener against Eastern Michigan. Only one player had any steals defensively in that one. And Joshua Langford shot just 37% from the field. Not his best day. He was just 3 of 8 from the field. And he made only 2 out of 7 from the three-point line. So kind of a slow start for him. Don't want to overreact, but certainly not a game we were expecting from Langford. This actually feels like a really big number for the Spartans. I wouldn't describe Notre Dame as a juggernaut for the national title this season either, but they do have enough talent on the roster and the bench to keep this one within double digits, in my opinion. I do like the Fighting Irish here to at least keep this one respectable, so we're going to lean toward a dog in this one. Give me the underdog, Notre Dame Fighting Irish plus 11. And the over 145 in that game. And with that, we're going to dive into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Villanova taking on Virginia Tech, 8 p.m. Eastern start time. Now, the Villanova Wildcats are the double-digit favorite in this one. Nova's minus 10 with the total at 137 and a hook. Now, we're seeing money coming in on both sides with regard to the total. Not a whole lot of movement there with regard to the line, but we are seeing significant movement toward Villanova. A lot of money, early money on Villanova. And as a matter of fact, we saw ourselves a 2.5-point move toward the Wildcats in the early wagering here. Nova opened 7.5 up to 10. Total open and remains at 137.5. And as good as this Villanova team is, and as well coached as they are, I mean, Jay Wright is a phenomenal coach. He loves Villanova. He could probably coach anywhere. But as good as this Nova team is, they did fail to cover the point spread in their season opener against Boston College. And as a matter of fact, the Eagles actually had a legit shot at winning that ball game. They played them real tough, kept it real close late. Connor Gillespie shooting just 33% from the field through 2 games this season, just 20% from beyond the arc for the senior. This is one of their leaders, a guy that Villanova looks forward to, especially in clutch situations. Now, Connor's just 8 of 24 from the field, 2 of 10 shooting the 3. And as good as Jeremiah Robinson Earl has looked, Nova's second best scoring big man, Jermaine Samuels, is averaging just 7 points a game and has only 1 block through 2 games. Now, they're taking on a Virginia Tech squad who took care of Radford in their season opener themselves. Radford occasionally gets into the tournament of 64, so not a terrible program. They held Radford to just 62 total points in that ball game. Ford Keeve Aluma scored 19 points along with 3 boards and a couple assists. The 6'9" junior had 2 blocks, and he also went 3 of 5 from downtown. Now, guard Naheem Alaney also scored 14 points and had a couple assists himself. Alaney went 4 for 4 from the stripe and made a couple of 3-pointers himself. And, of course, Hunter Cantor had a dozen points himself and made 4 of 6 from beyond the arc. Both of these schools, they did see their most recent outings get over the posted total as well. I do like the Hokies to keep this one within single digits. So with all that said and done, give me the Virginia Tech Hokies plus 10 and the over 137.5 in that contest. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys decide to get a package here today, just keep in mind, we'll bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Saturday to you. Best of luck to you. Hey, Mike Tyson fights tonight. Tyson versus Roy Jones. I saw the weigh-in. It's pretty sad. Everybody say, oh, man, these guys are in great shape. They look ripped. I'll tell you, I love Mike Tyson probably more than most people. And both these guys are looking pretty flabby. Man, I got to imagine these guys are going to gas out by the second round. But anyway, that's going to do it for me. Happy Saturday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.